like 8 or 10 people that they drew this family portrait of rabbits from all over the United States. They mailed me their portraits, and then through some of the work that I do with Alonzo, it was just down the street on Wabash. I think Wabash is down the street. There used to be a Boys and Girls Club there, the Salesian Boys and Girls Club, that we used to go and help out there. There was one of the workers there, they said, oh, I know an illustrator, a young illustrator. He's really good. You should meet him. And I thought, okay, I'm happy to meet him, but he needs to be serious. And what I meant by serious was, if we have a meeting, he needs to show up and be on time, okay? I'm serious about this. I don't want to be wasting time waiting. And you know what? We went and we met him, and we loved him, okay? He was serious at 19. He told me, he says, I've been drawing since I was 6 years old. I draw every day. I work on my art muscle. And he was living at home. He had his own little room in a garage. He made it into a little studio. He slept there. He drew there. I must have met with him there 50 times, maybe more, okay? I loved Juan. He was serious, and he was very talented. He's now like, he was only 19. He's now like 40 years old, maybe 42. I don't know. That was 20 years ago. And now, boy, he does his graphics and games, his art in games and advertising. He does public murals, all kinds of stuff. But before we hired him, besides being serious, what I did is I came to schools like Malabar, and I put the pictures of Sammy that I had on a board, and I said, everybody vote on, and I gave him a number, 1 to 6. I said, everybody vote on your favorite one. And for some reason, all the kids, like 8 out of 10, they voted for Juan's picture. Now the other ones, they were really nice, and in some ways they were better. In fact, all the adults liked the other ones. They didn't like Juan's. But I said, you know what? The kids like Juan's. And it's obvious. It's 8 out of 10. It's not 2 or 3. I said, we have to go with Juan's. So that's the answer to that question. All right. Somebody else have a question? And there's extra strong feelings about that. All right, if you have a question, raise your hand. Otherwise, I'll just share what I think is important. All right, somebody must have a question. Let me go back to this. Oh, yes, young lady, please stand up. What is your name? You have to speak much louder. Valentina, okay? Just a little louder, Valentina. How many? Okay, I don't draw, I write.
How many years have you been writing books?
How many? Oh, okay, over 20 years. I started like maybe in 1998. It was official in 2001. So, you know what? I started over 20 years ago. To me, writing is just like exercising. It's a muscle, all right? So if you work your muscle out every day, you're going to get a little stronger, a little better at your writing. You know, in fact, we can make up a little story right now if you want to. All right? So, you have a question? Yes. Please stand up. What is your name? So it's been over 20 years. Alonso. Okay, I've written 2 storybooks. It's A Habit, Sammy Rabbit, and Sammy's Big Dream. I have drafts of about 20 or 30 other stories. I just haven't published them yet. I've written 25 songs that we've made them into songs. I've got a list for lyrics of over another 100, and I've written, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 activity books. So, you know, what I do is, I was sharing this earlier, I use my phone and my computer now more, but I still carry a book with me, and when I get ideas, I like to write them down. Okay, that's, and then I do a few things. One is I follow my energy. So I was sharing earlier, before a lot of you got in here, this morning, and I get up early. Sometimes at 4, sometimes at 3, sometimes at 5. For me, that's when I have my best energy. And so the other day, I like to listen to people talk and the way that they phrase things and put things. And somebody said an expression I never heard. You know, I always hear when people are talking about money, I don't have money, or I'm poor, or this or that. And this woman was saying, our family was light on loot. Light on loot. L-O-O-T. Loot, like, you know, now you You call money a cheese, box, dough, loop, light on loop. And so as a writer, and liking words, like for me, words are like chocolate. Okay, I love them. Light on loop, that's kind of an alliteration. Light begins with an L, loop begins with an L. And I'm thinking that sounds melodic. And let me just say, believe it or not, even though I've already written 25 songs, I don't sing on key, I don't clap on beat, I don't play any music. I write the words, okay? And my muscle for writing songs and words is a lot better now after 20 years. So I take little phrases like that, and then I just step by step I try and build on them. Sometimes, like one of the first steps I'll do is I'll repeat the words over and over. Light on loop. I had no money. I spent all my money on fancy boots. Something like that. Oh, I'll write it down if I like it. And then, you know what, I might cross it out. That's called revising. When I wrote this first book, It's a Habit, Sandy Rabbit, I revised it over 100 times. I don't think you're a serious writer unless you revise at least 3 to 5 times. Okay? It's very rare, like the first time you write something down, that's your best writing. Maybe it's even bad writing. That's one of the things I like about writing. You can start with a bad sentence and turn it into a good sentence. You can turn a good sentence into a great sentence. That probably takes, if you're like really brilliant, that takes 3 revisions. I'm not really brilliant. I'm just very committed, so it might take me 30 revisions. Okay? But I keep noodling. I keep just trying to move it forward a little bit, just a little bit, until I'm really happy with it. Every now and then, I still change a word or two in my books, because when I have discussions with kids or with parents, sometimes they bring out some ideas or perspectives, some views I've never thought of, and I think, wow, that is a great idea. Maybe I should change my book to make it just a little bit better. See, I'm a big believer, like every day, if you get just a little bit better, by the end of 1 year, you'll be a whole different person. Here's something I want you to know. You can become something. Something good. Maybe even something great. That's in you. I'm going to ask you the same question my father asked me. You can do that if you're willing to work. Are you willing to work? If you do, who knows what you can become? Anything probably that you want. All right, does anybody else have a question?
I got one question.
Yes. Oh, way in the back, please stand up. Speak loudly. What is your name?
My name is Crystal.
Okay, you're going to okay. Everyone, I need your attention. Okay. I need you to speak loudly. This is like the 3rd time I said that. I don't want to have to repeat that. So that somebody behind me can hear you. What is your name?
Crystal.
Crystal, thank you. What is your question, Crystal?
What made you start writing books?
Okay, what made me start writing books? When I was around 40 years old, so now I'm older, okay? If you do the math, I'm over 60, right? I said that's over 20 years. I like doing basic math, all right? So just based on what I told you, you can figure that out. That's like an algebra problem. I was doing a job, this is my 3rd profession, like now I'm an entrepreneur, but in my 2nd profession, I was like a financial advisor. And I was advising people like your moms and dads and your teachers, and every day I would sit down and have coffee with them, and they would tell me about their money situation. It was like going to a doctor, and you tell your doctor, you know, oh, I'm not feeling well, my head hurts, this or that. So they would tell me their money situation, their money health. And every day, people would be telling me over and over, oh, I wish I would have learned about money when I was a kid, or I wish I would have started saving when I was a kid. I heard that so many times, it just got me to thinking. When I turned 21 and started my first job, I started saving and investing money. Why did I do that? Most people didn't do that. Why did I do that? There was a lot of reasons, but probably one of the biggest reasons was what I already shared with you. My dad, I think I was maybe 5 years old, we didn't have money, okay? I couldn't even get 10 cents for a soda. I wanted a soda? No, we don't have money for soda. All right, but, Sam, if you're willing to work, you can get a soda. All right? So I started thinking, wow, that advice was really helpful because now I'm in my 20s and 30s, and now I've been working and I've been saving my money. Guess what? The things I wanted, they changed. So instead of wanting a soda, I wanted a house. You know what? That happened to me. That's going to happen to you. That happens to a lot of people. It's not unusual. It's like having a crystal ball. You can see the future. But what I noticed was, if you were a kid and you were spending all your money, then guess what? That's not a winning recipe. That's not a winning strategy. You're probably going to do that as an adult. Okay? And guess what? You can do that if you want to, but it's not a winning formula. It's not for the things that you're going to want. So if you can start thinking about money when you're young in the right way, that can help you your whole life. All right? One of the things a lot of young people in their 20s are very concerned about now is they have a lot of debt. And so that means that they owe a lot of money to other people. All right? And so because they owe this money to other people, they have to pay it back. And that money, they're saying, oh, I got to pay that back. That candy's already gone. That pizza's already eaten. I'd rather have that money and use it for a house or a business or something else. But nobody's ever talked to them about that. So that's kind of what inspired me. That happened to me, and I thought, you know what? There's nothing really special about me. Well, maybe a couple of things, but not a lot of things. If I can do it, you can do it too. And I thought, you know what? Kids need to know that. Parents need to know it. Okay? It's like me. When I find food I like, what's the recipe? Alonzo's wife, she's a great cook. What's your secret recipe for enchiladas? Okay. I want to know the recipe. Well, you know what? There's a recipe for good money choices, and that's what I do. Who has a question? Please stand up. Say your name. Everyone else quiet. It's very hard to hear. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Diego, and I would like to ask a question about the drafts that you were talking about.
Yes.
You said you had many drafts. I just wanted to have more information about it. Like, what were their names and the plot, the story?
Okay, so that's a great question. I only heard part of it with the draft. Okay, so I'm going to just use. All right, I'm going to use my first book. It's A Habit, Sammy Rabbit. I think habits are a key to success. I also think habits are something that we have a power to choose. So like reading, for example. That is a main ingredient for success, all right? So if you're having chicken soup and you don't have chicken, it's not chicken soup. So if you want to know how to be successful, let me just say, reading is the chicken for success, all right? So that's one of the big ingredients. So I think habits are really important. Reading habits, exercise habits, eating habits, money habits. And so my theme that I wanted to communicate to young people, my number one theme, and still my number one theme, is saving money is a great habit. Saving money is a great habit. So through all my revisions, I was revising all these things, the plot, the characters, around the idea. And at that time, when I first started, I even revised Saving is a Great Habit. I started off, it's a habit, Sammy Rabbit, saving is a habit. Well, the more I thought about that, I realized saving is not a habit. And even if it is a habit, what kind of a habit is it? Is it a good habit or a bad habit? And I thought, you know what? It's a great habit. And so that's one of the revisions I made, but I made other revisions as well. What I did is, I write something, and this is the beauty. See, in the way I think thinking begins when you write something. When you take it out of your head and you put it on paper. So if I put it on paper, I can look at it and review it. I can give it to my collaborator. He can look at it and review it. And then we can say, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? And then if I'm listening, I can either say, you know what, I agree with you or I don't agree with you. And I'm an author. I'm the boss of the words, okay? So then I'll decide, you know what? I'm going to change that. And so what was driving me was I wanted it to be the best that I could make it. And so, look, if you can make it great in 3 revisions, congratulations to you. But it took me over 100 revisions. I'm still revising it a little bit now and then, not as much. But that's what it took for me. Everybody's different, but I've seen a lot of writing, and I can tell you a lot of kids writing. If you don't revise something, I said earlier 3 times, but it's probably really 10 times, man, you're doing yourself a disfavor. You're doing yourself a disfavor. And if you want to become something, maybe an astronaut, you have your NASA sweatshirt on, you got to put the work in. You got to put the work in. And so that's another little, I like to call them Sammy Rabbit gold carrot nuggets. Try and find work that you really love to do. So like at 4 in the morning, you wake up and say, oh my goodness, I can't wait to get to work and talk to the kids today. All right? That's how you know you're doing work that really is right for you. If you can find that, you're going to have probably a great life because you're going to be using your time doing something you really care about. If you really care about it, you're probably going to really do well at it. All right. Are we on time? Okay. Hey, I'd be happy to come back again. Thank you very much.
Overstreet that made it. Miss Overstreet. She wanted to present you with a little something. Good morning, boys and girls. You guys were a very good audience. I'm Mrs. Overstreet, and yes, I am married to Mr. Overstreet. Okay? I was a teacher here from Malabar for many years, and I have worked with Mr. Renick. The book that he talked to you guys about, Sammy the Rabbit, I did an after-school class with children, and I taught them about money. And some of those children still remember saving money. I talked to their parents over the years, and they said they really save money for what they want. So if you learn how to save money early in your life, that will carry on and will help you. So on behalf of the Malabar faculty, staff, and students, Mr. Renick, thank you very much for all the years that you have inspired students to dream big.
Another big round of applause. She is probably the main reason why I'm here today.
If you want to learn more about Malabar and Mr. Renick, you can Google it. Write down Sammy the Rabbit, and it says Malabar, and you will see him visiting Malabar. He has come to the school 2 other times, and your parents were here, and maybe some of your cousins or brothers and sisters might have been in my class. So you can go ahead and Google it, and you will see Mr. Renick here at Malabar. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. All right, thank you very much. Have a great day.